Welcome back to another edition of Just Talking with Joe Burdick. I'm really excited to introduce my next guest. When I started this podcast last year, I reached out to him. I love his story. I love his faith. I love everything about this guy, and I wanted to have him tell his story. And then something pretty exciting happened. We didn't do the podcast last year, but something pretty exciting happened to him this year, and I wanted him to share all this stuff. He's a favorite here in Cleveland, and I'm pretty excited to talk to my next guest, Hayden Grove. He's a reporter by day, a crooner by night, a mental health advocate, which I want to hear more about. He works for Cleveland.com. And the last time I saw Hayden, we were at a charity event together. We've done a couple of those throughout the years when Mike Trevisano was still alive. And I'm excited. Hayden Grove made his The Voice debut on his birthday. Happy birthday, Hayden.
Thank you very much, man. It's an honor to be here. I guess it kind of worked out that we didn't talk last year. Things are a little more interesting now, you know.
I think it was still interesting last year, but this is really exciting. I'm happy for you, and I am appreciative that you're going to share the story with me and my followers. So let's talk about this. Growing up, you grew up a little bit in Florida, right?
Yep.
So what got you into music? I mean, besides that voice of yours, but
I grew up in Florida, and my dad was very musical. He played piano. He was a singer as well. My grandmother, his mom was very musical. So I think they kind of just, were always either playing music or singing me to sleep, or, I just always had music around me. So I think it was very easy, as a kid to sing or to, enjoy music, because it was always around. All kinds of different music. And I mean, when you're a child, it's usually mostly kids' music, but I just from the beginning had a song in my heart, and from there just explored all kinds of different music. I thought, music is kind of the soundtrack to life, and it makes life that much more beautiful and that much more exciting. So I truly think it's a gift from God, and I've enjoyed it since I was essentially an infant.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of the things too that I think is actually kind of inspiring, is that, you wear your faith on your sleeve. You're an open book, watching you and following your social media, the mental health awareness thing, your faith, you're always thanking God. And I love that, we're more people seem to be comfortable doing that. So where did you get your faith from?
Yeah. I was born and raised in the Catholic Church, baptized in the Catholic Church. My mother was Catholic. My father was Methodist. He decided that, the Catholic Church would be fine for us. And, he was married in the Catholic Church to my mom. So, so I have been, a believer since I was, again, an infant, a baby. And I think throughout my life, I think there have been ebbs and flows of maybe, not that my faith has wavered, not that I've talked to God every day, and I'm very, very much in touch with, Jesus and God and my Lord and Savior and all that good stuff, and prayer and all and everything. But, there have been points in my life where I've kind of just not been as connected. And, it's in those times that like something will happen that will bring me right back. Be that the mental health journey that I went on. I relied on, Jesus and for every prayer and, reading the Bible and just, praying. I just do so much praying because I feel like that's the best way to connect to God. And he got me through that, and he's just been with me every step of the way. And then throughout this journey, I've just, really relied on heavy prayer and, going to mass and reading. I started to reread the whole Bible from the beginning. So it's going to take me a minute, but yeah, I just think that, we're nothing without him. He's he's been with me through the good, through the bad, through everything. And I just have such a firm and, firm belief and faith in him. And I'm so grateful to him for all the beautiful things that he's given to me. And I'm grateful for the difficult times too, because they made me a better person.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a big believer in prayer. One of these days I'll share the story, but for the last 20 years, I've been wearing this around my neck to remind me every day of not only the sacrifice God made with his own son,
Yep.
but what he did for me and my son too. So I'm a big
Amen.
believer in prayer, my friend. So I appreciate that you're open with that. I know a lot of people, either they're winging it, or with no God in their lives, or they're really quiet about it. And I appreciate the people that can speak up and say, I believe. So
Yeah, I think my parents were maybe more of the conservative, where they weren't really, so open about it. And I think it goes beyond God. I think that's kind of just their personality. They're very humble people. They're very, which is great, which is beautiful. But also, I think that sometimes you have to be, you have to say the things that maybe are a little uncomfortable, or not that I think God is uncomfortable, but I'm just saying, like, with my mental health stuff, like, sometimes that's an uncomfortable conversation for people to have, because they don't necessarily know what it entails. And I think they were very initially skeptical of me sharing my mental health story. I think they're just looking out for me and worried for me and my well-being. That's what it's always been. So yeah, I just never want to be a closed book. I want to be an open book, because being a closed book does nothing for anybody. I don't think it helps anybody. I don't think it makes anybody feel good. I don't think it makes anybody more joyful. And I'm also not the person to be specifically, like, jumping down people's throats with what I'm with my opinions on things. But I'll just share it, and whoever can take it, or whoever resonates with it. So
right.
I will definitely be an open book, 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really appreciate that. Now listen, kind of off top, well, not off topic, but have you ever been to St. Ignatius of Antioch?
I have not. I
Oh
have
my
not.
God, it's such a beautiful church. It's on West Boulevard and Detroit, I think.
Okay.
Beautiful church. That's where I was baptized. My kids were baptized. One of these days, you'll have to check it out.
Okay. I definitely will.
So let's talk some
Go ahead.
music.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest influence in the music industry?
Well, I mean, Michael Bublé has definitely been my biggest influence since I was a kid. I mean, just something about his sound, something about the way that he was able to kind of bridge the gap between, the legends of the 50s, 60s, and their 40s, 50s, 60s, and the modern age. I think it was a really he did a masterful job. He's got a wonderful voice, and I think he's got it's just everything he does. I think everything he does musically, turns to gold. So I love the fact that he can do a standard and do it as authentically and as beautifully as anybody, and then he can turn around and do something a little more modern, maybe a pop song, or maybe a power ballad from the 80s or whatever. He's done all kinds of different things. So his influence has been incredible on me. And Harry Connick Jr. as well. You mentioned him earlier. I think that Harry is kind of maybe the first album that I heard of kind of the genre. His Blue Light, Red Light album. Every song is so beautiful, and and all original, and they're all kind of big band charts. And he is the consummate musician, man. He not only a singer, but he orchestrates his own, he composes his own stuff. He plays every instrument in the book. He's an incredible pianist. So Harry and Michael definitely, for sure, are two of my biggest influences. But even furthermore, I mean, I was listening to Adam Levine. I was listening to Maroon 5. I was listening to some of the more modern stuff when I was growing up. So they all have definite impact on me. But those two guys specifically, being the living legends of the genre, had perhaps the biggest influence on me.
And how cool is it? Because I've seen the videos of you and Michael Bublé singing together at one of his concerts. Right? Was that at his
Yeah,
concert I
Mike.
saw?
Yeah. Michael's been incredible, man. He's just, it's. I think that we talk about God. I mean, I think that God had His hands all over my life, because, the influence that Michael had on me, it's not only musical. I mean, I think just Michael handles himself so incredibly well all the time. He's a kind soul. He's a giving soul. He cares. He's genuine. He's down to earth. And, for him to do the things that he's done for me, it's really, again, I think it's divine. I think it's divine intervention. I think that there was some sort of plan in place for God to put Michael into my life, and maybe for me to go into his life in some way, shape, or form. So, Michael's been just incredible, and how he found me, again, that's also divine. I mean, he's got millions of people following his music career, and he somehow happened to stumble upon little old me. So, again, just the biggest blessing. He's been so incredible, just so incredible to me.
Yeah, that has to be pretty awesome when he, even on The Voice the other night, when he came up and sang with you on, national TV. That's really cool. Now you're not on Team Bublé, you're on Team Adam.
Yeah.
So were you bummed that you got picked by Adam?
Absolutely not. No way. I was not bummed whatsoever. I was so excited. I said, I love Adam Levine. I love his music. I love his, I just listening to Maroon 5. I mean, he's got so many great songs, and they're all so catchy and well done. And no, I was so thrilled to be on Team Adam, man. I was so excited. Was I surprised a little bit? I was a little bit surprised that Adam would go my way, because he's kind of, not really in that vein, but he, like you said, and I appreciated that he said this, but he's, a great voice is a great voice, and it doesn't really matter what the genre is. So I appreciated that. And I was a little surprised that he turned, but hey, you know what? I was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. Could not be more grateful. Could not be more excited to be on Team Adam. The things that he said were so kind, and the opportunity to work with him is going to be incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of the cool things too was showing them with their back to you, and then the interaction leading up to what that was all pretty cool. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm going, Michael's gonna hit first. I know it. And you're right though. I'm glad that he didn't. So, but his advice to you was amazing.
He knows it. He knows it. He knows that I know it. I obviously he's more, well-versed in the genre. He's I think 20 years older, 18 years older than me. And, he's been around the block, and he's done, he is standing on the shoulders of giants, and he is a giant himself. So, it was incredible to just, get a little tidbit from him, and for him to come up and I thought it was as much as it was advice and coaching. I think it was also like a hat tip, given, to come up and just say hello and great to see you and love you, buddy, and all that good stuff. I mean, that means the world. So for Adam to say the same kind of, I love you, dude, it's crazy. It means a lot. It really means so much.
I had tickets to go see Michael Bublé for my anniversary right around when COVID hit, and then he had to cancel the show.
I had the same tickets. Yep.
Well, the guy I bought my tickets apparently from a third party, so he got the refund, and I didn't get the refund, so I never got a chance to see Michael Bublé. And let me tell you something: anytime he's in town or his name is on he's on TV, I am reminded I didn't get a chance to go see Michael Bublé. So
you're going to go. He's going to come back sometime. You're going to go. We're going to make that happen.
Well, we're going to come see you.
Because as great as he is, on TV, and as great as he is in recordings, there is nothing. He is the best live in the world, the best show. I promise you. There's nothing like him live. Because it's real. There's no bells and, I mean, there are bells and whistles, but there, with his voice, there are no bells and whistles. It's just authentically fantastic. So
he doesn't need a studio to make that voice. Nope. He's like Elvis didn't either. He's a real singer.
The band is incredible too. It's just the whole experience. So we'll make that happen for sure. For sure. We got to get you over to a show.
Yeah. I hear about it all the time. Trust me. So the show, I mean, I've never been on a show like that, or actually anything other than news. But so what was that like leading up to it? How'd you make that happen?
It was the most incredible thing, man. I mean, just, I'd never been a part of anything like that. I think I auditioned, or I got asked to audition a couple of times for America's Got Talent, which is also NBC Universal, but never really made it anywhere to where like there was anything serious going on. So my initial thought kind of was like, okay, like I've kind of been down this road before, not really expecting much. So we'll see what happens. And then just kind of like steps, like every little step was like, oh, okay, maybe this is more serious than I thought. Oh, maybe this is more serious than I thought. Oh, maybe, like, and it just kept going. But I was also like waiting for the rug to be pulled out from under me. Like, okay, like this is it. It's been a good run, but they're going to pull the rug out from under you. But it never happened. Like I said, be it the grace of God, God's plan. It never happened. I have a tendency to kind of be anxious and anxiety, or have anxiety about things, and just kind of go. In my publicly, I can be pretty positive, but like in my own head, I can be like pretty negative. Just like, so I was always kind of like preparing myself, like, okay, if they send you home, it's okay, like you'll figure it out. But it never happened. So I got the chance to audition, which was incredible.
How did they notify you that you were going to be on the show?
Call. He gave me a call, man. I remember I was in my apartment, and my girlfriend at the time was here, and we just jumped and leaped and screamed and all that good stuff. And I was like twirling her around, and like I was like fell on the floor. It was magical. It was about probably a year ago. It was probably about a year ago when that call happened. So the process has been really, really long.
Well, so the day of the show, on your birthday, how do you celebrate your birthday, waiting for the show to appear? I know you had to be on social media all day, reminding everybody to tune in. And I'm sure most of Cleveland tuned in, by the way. But how did you spend that day?
Yeah, I woke up at 4 a.m, man. I was like adrenaline all day. I was like, let's go. So yeah, I woke up at 4. I went to a cycle park, like when I do my cycling workout. I went to breakfast with a friend. Like I just kept myself busy because I was like, it was like the longest day of my life. That waiting for 8 o'clock was so long. And now like the 3 days that have passed since then have been like the quickest days of my life. So yeah, I kept myself busy just doing random stuff. Like, I had just random things to do, so I went and did them. But then for my birthday, like I kept it small. We were really not supposed to be involved with watch parties, so I kept it to a couple of friends. And watched at their place, and we got some food, and it was a great time. So, but then after that, my phone has not stopped for days on end now. So like I just feel bad I haven't answered anybody, answered any or I've answered some people, but like I still have so many people I haven't texted back or haven't responded to, just because I'm so overwhelmed with everything going on. So I will get back. I promise. It'll just take me a little while.
Well, I think everybody's proud of you, and everybody will be patient. So,
Yeah,
are
please be
you?
patient.
Yeah, I'm sure they all are. Are you still doing your day job?
Yes, I'm just doing some behind the scenes stuff. Just focus more on less on like going to games and stuff, and more on just kind of day to day things. Like I'm just doing less sports, but yep, still with Cleveland.com.
Boy, how about them Cavs, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's been so fun to watch. I mean, I still, whether I'm behind the scenes or at the games, I'm still watching and paying attention to everything. So, I mean, it's been incredible. They're 44-10 at this point at the All-Star break. And like, what a team, just a great group of guys. I mean, I think Donovan Mitchell, I think that was the best trade they could have ever made. Not only because he's a great player, but he's just the real deal in terms of the human being that he is and the leader that he is. And he's not like some phony. He's the real everything you want him to be. So he leads the way, and then Evan Mobley has certainly developed in the right direction, and Darius Garland is kind of back to being Darius Garland, and then you add DeAndre Hunter in the mix, and Jared Allen is great. So I think I don't know if they're the class of the East just yet. I think that Boston is being the defending champions, I think that they are still going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I think the Cavs are right there. I think that's the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavs and the Celtics. So we'll see what happens in a 7-game series.
That's right. Yeah, I know, it's exciting. So Michael Bublé, I saw that he follows your social media. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's incredible. Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
It's obvious that you love Cleveland. I mean, I see
Yep.
you everywhere. What do you love most about Cleveland?
The people. The people. I think that Cleveland has the best people. They genuinely care about each other. They genuinely care about their community. They care about that. They're very passionate, as evidenced by our sports teams, right? Like, Browns fans are some of the most passionate people I've ever been around, for better or for worse sometimes. But yeah, I really think it's the people. And yeah, of course, I love that, Cleveland is such a diverse city. It's got so many different pockets, so many different, neighborhoods, so many different cultures represented. I think that's another beautiful thing, is that Cleveland is very, very culturally diverse, all kinds of different, areas, be it from you have Little Italy, and you have the Slavic village, and you have, other areas of other, ethnicities and other parts of the city. And there's
Tremont.
Tremont, right? Just all kinds of stuff, big Eastern European contingent. And then there's, an Asian contingent. And then there's, a Spanish contingent. It's Latin American contingent. So it's just so well and culturally diverse. And I think we all treat each other really, really well, because we all kind of come together and fight for this, this place that we call home. So I love the people of Cleveland. I really do. And as evidenced by the way, the fact that you guys have supported me. I mean, it's just been incredible to see the amount of support and love I've gotten over the last couple of days, especially. But even before that, I mean, people have loved and supported me through a lot of stuff. And I just couldn't be more proud to be living, here, and to have made this my home. I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised here, but my mom was, and my grandfather, who was maybe my best friend growing up, was, and he kind of delivered that, or gave me that Cleveland pride as best as he could. And I've been hooked since I was a kid. So there's no better place for me than right here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I'll tell you what, I live in Seven Hills, and I know somebody that lives here in Seven Hills. And talk about ethnically diverse. We have so many different restaurants and churches from all over the place. And I love it here in Seven Hills. Just like I do living in Cleveland. I've lived here my whole life. And yeah, we're definitely very proud of you. Did we freeze? Still there, Hayden? Yep. Technical difficulties. Hayden.
Okay, we're back. Sorry.
All right, there we are. Now I was saying
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden the screens went black.
Yeah. No, I was saying that I live here in Seven Hills. I know somebody that lives here in Seven Hills.
I do.
And talk about ethnically diverse. We have all kinds of ethnic food, churches. I love it. And like you said, Cleveland has definitely supported you. And I can say that I knew you before The Voice.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were an OG. You were an OG.
That's right. Young people that watch you on the show, I mean, what kind of advice would you give some young person that wants to break into the industry?
That is my biggest hope, is that, there are kids out there, be they from Cleveland, be they from wherever, that they see what I was lucky enough to do, and they dream big. Because I think sometimes it just seems the world seems so big, and seems so it just seems like it's going to be hard to do something, and it might be, but you can do it. If you have a dream, you have a hope, you have a desire, you have something you really want to do, and if you give your all to it, if you love it, if you are passionate about it, if you work really, really, really hard, I can guarantee you it'll happen. You can make it happen. So, and also I remember when I was a kid, I kind of felt alone. I kind of felt like, nobody really got what I was into. Nobody really kind of understood, why I love the music that I love, and why I, was so passionate about it. And I just didn't have maybe that support that that I eventually did have. So I hope that there are, that if there are kids out there that maybe feel like they're the same way, that, they're not feeling like they're supported, or they're not feeling like they have a ton of people with them in their corner, know that, like, that I was right there with them. And there is a group, there is somebody out there. If it's me, if it's somebody else, there is someone for you. There's someone in your corner. There's someone to help you out. There's someone to support you. So dream big and just work hard, man. That's the biggest thing. If you have a dream, don't let anybody get in your way. Like,
Right.
keep, even if it's just little chipping away at that brick, or that, wall that's in front of you. Just keep chipping, and you're going to reach it. You're going to reach the other side. So I'm still chipping, man. I mean, yes, I've taken some big chunks, but, like, I'm still chipping away. And I'll continue to chip away, because I think that there's beauty in the grind. There's beauty in, the day-to-day, the hard work. I love that. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited to see what happens from this national exposure from you. I mean, we all know you and see you around in Cleveland. This national exposure is going to be big. So
I pray, man. I pray. I hope that, I hope, like I said, I think, like, when people are asking, what do you want? I just want to sing I just want to sing. Like, I want to be able to do this and just go to different places and travel and sing, and, and inspire people and bring people joy and love and God's, grace and peace and all that good stuff. I just want to bring people happiness. So, I would love to do it. If it's here in Cleveland, I will continue to do that. If it's, Cleveland and around the country, that's great. If it's Cleveland around the world, then I'm in for that as well. So, I just want to get out there and sing, man. I love this music. I want to, get it, do it as long as I can, and, and bring a lot of joy.
So, anybody that watches this that might have some mental health questions, what would you recommend to somebody like that?
Oh, I would recommend that. First of all, I would just say that you're not alone. Like I just said, you are not alone. There are so many people that are in the same shoes, in the same boat. I remember when I was going through it, as a senior in high school, really, I just remember thinking like that I was like, that this was something that doesn't happen to other people, that this was like just something that is so, like, it was just devastating. Like, I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to go do anything. I was, my anxiety took over it was both depression and anxiety. So not only are you like, not wanting to do anything, but then when you, do have to do something, then you're so worried about what you are doing. And so it was just like this big dark cloud, and I just felt like there was no escape. And luckily my parents saw that I was struggling. They could see that there was a difference in me, and they figured it out, and they talked to, they found a psychiatrist for me, and they found, resources for me. And I think that's the advice that I would give, that there are so many resources out there. Your first resource might not be the one that's right for you, but that doesn't mean that there's not another one. So go find. There are so many resources here in Cleveland. I'm working with a group called Life Act, which is a mental health resource for children and for people in schools, to get the help they need. So that organizations like Life Act, there's NAMI, there's so many different, places to go, and therapy is very readily available. So I would just, again, if you're not ready to go down that route, just talk to somebody you trust, talk to somebody Just like, hey, I'm struggling a little bit. Like, and if most people, if you trust them and they love you, and that you love them, they're going to be right there for you. They're going to be right there for you. I think, maybe they won't be there to give you the exact tools that you need, but they'll be there for you, and they'll, help you in some way, shape, or form. So if that's me, great. You can reach out to me, and I can't promise that I'll get to you right away, but I'll try my best. And if I see that you're struggling, I'll try to help you as best I can. Or, even if you're watching this podcast and you're struggling, then you hear this advice, and maybe there's somewhere for you to go. Like I said, Life Act, there's so many different organizations. So I promise you there are resources. I promise you there is help available. And I promise you, most importantly, that you are not alone. Whatever it may be, whatever you may be struggling with, You are certainly not alone. I've been there. We have all been there in different ways, and there is help available. And you're going to live a better life once you start to put the work in and try to find the help that you need. It's going to get better, I promise.
Awesome. So what do we have? What's next on the show? What's coming up next? How do we
coming up next? We have a lot more blind auditions, so there will be a lot of my friends that you haven't seen yet, which is incredibly exciting. Team Adam, I think, has 4 of us right now. There's going to be a good amount more. So we got to fill up Team Adam. All the other teams got to fill up. So there's plenty more blind auditions. We got about a month of that left. And then we're on to battles. So that's kind of one-on-one duets where you sing us the same song with a partner, and they pick which one they want to move on. So that is up next. That'll be probably, like I said, a month or so. So you won't see me on the show for a little bit. It'll be a while. But you get to watch these incredibly talented artists that are going to come on, that are going to, fill these teams up and get their opportunity. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see, because we don't get to see most of the audition. We don't get to see any of the auditions. So I'm excited to watch, all of my friends do their thing, man. I mean, I've heard most of them sing, but not necessarily in that setting. So I'm really excited to watch.
So behind the scenes, when you're not on, you're getting ready to come out. What are you guys doing? Are people nervous backstage? You singing together? You jamming?
Oh, I mean, not the day of the audition, not jamming, but around when we're doing rehearsals and stuff. Yeah, a lot of jamming. A lot of people play guitar, so just bringing the guitar out and singing stuff. And it was so much fun to hear all these different artists singing these beautiful songs and doing it so beautifully. They're so incredibly talented. But the day of the audition, yeah, you're just kind of waiting. It's just a lot of waiting. Hair and makeup, but other than that, you're kind of just waiting for your opportunity. So a lot of pacing back and forth, a lot of warming up, a lot of water, a lot of honey, a lot of that good stuff. So it's definitely nerve-wracking because you're just kind of waiting for your moment. And when your name's called, then it's time to go, man. Time to get out there.
Yeah, and you nailed it too. That was awesome. So
I appreciate that.
I'm not going to keep you. So when can we watch the show?
You can watch the show on Mondays at 8/7 Central on NBC, or you can watch the next day on Peacock, which is their streaming service. So Peacock will not be till the Tuesdays. Tuesdays it'll be on Peacock.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've never watched The Voice before, but this season, obviously, I'm glued in. So I'm rooting for you. I'm going to say a prayer for you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. I know everybody wants a piece. So
I'm going to try to give everybody as much as I can. I'm going to try to, I'm not scared of doing it. Somebody was joking the other day about, media tours, and I'm doing a media tour, I guess. So I'm going to try to give everybody a little bit because they've given a little bit of themselves to me. So I appreciate the opportunity for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I can do anything and turn a couple of people on to watch the show and, contribute any way they can, I'm certainly going to do it. So
it means a lot, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I really, hey, and trust me, I'm glad that we didn't make this happen last year because this is pretty awesome. So
it would have been cool last year too. Like you said, we would have made it work last year as well,
Yep. Well, you have a great story, Hayden. And, I wanted to get it out there. That's why I started this podcast, was to just share stories. And, I wanted to try to get some, Cleveland people in too. I want to try to get Daffy Dan. I don't know how to reach him, but I want to try to get Daffy Dan. I want to get Billy Morris. I just saw him the other day.
Oh, yeah. You got to get Billy on. He'll come on for sure.
Yeah. I love the long form podcast. And I think Billy can take probably a couple hours. So
yeah, man, he can. Yeah. Billy he probably got stories on stories on stories, man. That dude, I love that dude. Billy has done so much for me as well. I mean, he's an incredible human being. I love him. So yeah,
Billy, it's funny. He showed me around the studio and what he has planned. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny because he said, yeah, we're in the middle area. We're going to have concerts in here and get Hayden Grove in here to sing. He mentioned you, that he wants to get you in there. And
yeah, man, let's do it. If Billy Morris is involved, I'm in. I'll do it. Whatever it is.
Whatever. Billy's a god, man.
He's great. Yep. He's unbelievable.
Well, listen, I know you have a ton to do, so I really appreciate you taking the time and doing this with me.
Oh, thank you, man, Joe. It's an honor. Like I said, I'm happy to do it. I know that it worked out. God's plan, God's timing. It worked out the way it was supposed to. So
Yep.
glad we got to do it now. Which it's an honor, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I do too. Thanks a lot. We'll talk again soon.
All right, Joe. God bless, man. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
God bless. God
Thank
bless.
you.